Hello, brave souls. Today's story is called Patient Zero. I should have stayed home sick. That's the thought that keeps looping through my head as I crouch behind an overturned filing cabinet on the third floor of my office building. The fluorescent lights are still on, buzzing, flickering, which somehow makes everything worse. Fluorescent lights aren't supposed to illuminate the end of the world. They're supposed to illuminate spreadsheets and boring meetings and leftover birthday cake in the break room. Not this. Not that the thing that used to be Jenkins from accounting, currently trying to claw its way through the glass door 20 feet from where I'm hiding. It started this morning. Actually, if I'm honest, it probably started before this morning. Maybe yesterday. Maybe last week. Maybe it's been happening for months and we just didn't notice because we were all too busy staring at our phones. I woke up at 6:47 a.m. My alarm was set for 6:45, but I'd already hit snooze twice. It felt like garbage. Headache, sore throat, that weird hot cold feeling where you can't tell if you're running a fever or if your apartment's heating system is just being psychotic again. I should have called in sick. I almost did. My fingers were hovering over my message's contact info when I or my fingers were hovering over my manager's contact info when I remembered the presentation. The one I've been working on for 3 weeks. The one that could maybe, finally, get me that promotion. So I took 4 Advil, drank a Red Bull for breakfast, and dragged myself onto the subway. The subway was weird. I remember noticing that. Not empty weird, but wrong weird. Everyone was quieter than usual. And in a city where people pride themselves on aggressively ignoring each other, that's saying something. There was a woman standing next to the door, just staring at nothing. Her eyes were, I don't know, unfocused, like she was looking through the world instead of at it. She was swaying slightly even though the train wasn't moving yet. A homeless guy was sprawled across 3 seats, which wasn't unusual, but he was making these sounds, these wet, gurgling sounds. I just thought he was sick. I thought maybe I should tell someone, but when I thought about how many times I'd seen sick people in the subway, and how exactly 0 times anyone had ever done anything about it, so I looked away, like everyone else. I got off at my stop, walked the 4 blocks to my building, bought a coffee from the cart guy on the corner. Extra sugar, extra cream, because I like what I needed it. Because I felt like I needed it. The cart guy didn't say anything when he handed me the cup. He usually asks about my day, make small talk. This time he just stared at me with those bloodshot eyes, and I noticed his hand was shaking. I should have noticed more. I should have paid attention. But I didn't. I went inside. I took the elevator to the 8th floor. I sat down at my desk and opened my laptop and started running through my presentation slides one more time. It was 9:34 a.m. when Sarah started screaming. Sarah sat 3 cubicles over. She did something with data analysts that I never really fully understood. She brought in donuts every Friday. She had a photo of her kids on her desk, 2 boys, both under 10, both with her smile. Her scream wasn't like the screams you hear in movies. It was higher, rawer. It was the sound of something fundamental breaking. I stood up so fast my chair rolled backwards and hit this cubicle wall. Half the office was already moving toward the sound. That's when I saw him. Marcus from IT. He'd been out sick yesterday. Called in with what he said was food poisoning. He didn't look sick now. He didn't look like anything. His skin had grayish tint. His eyes were wrong, cloudy, milky. He was stumbling toward Sarah's cubicle with his mouth open. And his mouth was... God. There was blood. So much blood. All down his chin, his shirt, his hands. Sarah tried to run. She didn't make it 3 steps before he grabbed her. His hands locked on her shoulders and he pulled her close, almost like a hug, almost tender. Except then his teeth were in her neck and she was screaming again, screaming and flailing, and there was blood spraying everywhere, hitting the cubicle walls, the carpet, someone's coffee mug. People were shouting. Someone yelled to call 911. Someone else was crying. I just stood there, frozen, watching Marcus tear into Sarah's throat like it was made of tissue paper. Then she stopped screaming. That was somehow worse than the screaming. Marcus dropped her and turned around, and his eyes fixed on me. His cloudy, dead eyes that somehow still saw me. His mouth was hanging open, and blood was dripping from his chin, and I could see something. A piece of something, caught between his teeth. He started walking toward me. I ran. I didn't think about it. My body just moved. I vaulted over my desk and sprinted for the stairwell. Behind me, I could hear shouting, crashing, more screaming. The screaming seemed to be multiplying, spreading. I hit the stairwell door so hard it bounced off the wall. I was going down, taking the stairs 3 at a time. My coffee forgotten. My presentation forgotten. Everything forgotten except the need to get out, get away, get somewhere safe. I made it down 3 floors before I realized everyone else had the same idea. The stairwell was packed. People were shoving, pushing, trampling each other in their panic to reach the ground floor. Someone fell near the 5th floor landing and people just kept going, stepping over them, stepping on them. I heard bones crack, but I didn't stop. When I reached the lobby, it was chaos. The big glass doors that faced the street were shattered. There were bodies on the marble floor, some moving, some not. The security guard was slumped behind his desk, with his throat torn open. The coffee shop in the corner was on fire, smoke pouring out, the sprinkler system hissing and spraying water everywhere. And there were more of them. More of the things that used to be people. They were everywhere. They moved wrong, jerky and uncoordinated, but somehow fast when they needed to be. One of them used to be someone in a suit. One of them used to be a woman in a yellow dress. One of them used to be a bicycle carrier, still wearing his helmet. They were feeding. It's the only word for it. Feeding on people who were still alive, still screaming, still trying to crawl away. I saw the street through the broken windows. It was worse out there. Cars crashed into each other's, into buildings, into light poles. People running in every direction. Smoke rising from a dozen different fires. And more of them. So many more. They were everywhere. I couldn't go down. I couldn't go out there. So I went up. I didn't know why. I didn't make sense. But nothing made sense. And up felt safer than down. So I turned around and pushed back into the stairwell and started climbing. I made it to the 3rd floor before my legs started shaking. Before my lungs started burning. Before the full weight of what was happening crashed into me like cold water. This was real. This was happening. The world was ending and I was stuck in an office building and I didn't know what to do. I stumbled out of the stairwell into the 3rd floor hallway. It was quieter here, emptier. This floor was mostly storage and conference rooms. Nobody worked up here regularly. The lights were on, but the hallway was deserted. That's when I heard it. A sound from somewhere down the hall. Not screaming. Something else. A wet, shuffling sound. The sound of something dragging itself forward. I ducked into the nearest room. A conference room with a long table and 12 chairs and a whiteboard someone had left a meeting agenda on. The door had a window, small reinforced glass. I locked it and backed away, trying to control my breathing, trying to think. That's when Jenkins appeared. I recognized his tie first. Stupid detail to notice, but I did. It was the same tie he'd been wearing this morning, blue with little yellow stripes. He'd complimented my coffee when I'd seen him in the elevator. He'd been heading up to accounting. He'd seemed fine. He wasn't fine now. His face was pale, waxy. His eyes were that same milky white. There was blood on his mouth, his shirt. He saw me through the window and started clawing at the door, his fingers scraping against the glass, leaving smears. I moved away from the door, overturned the conference table, shoved the filing cabinet in front of the door. It wouldn't hold forever, but it might hold long enough. Long enough for what, though? That's the question, isn't it? I've been here for 2 hours now, maybe 3. My phone died 40 minutes ago. The sounds from outside have changed. less screaming, more of that awful shuffling, groaning sound they make, like they're not really alive, but not quite dead either. Something in between. Jenkins is still at the door. He hasn't left, hasn't given up. He just keeps clawing, clawing, clawing. Patient, persistent, dead. The lights are still on. The emergency broadcast system came on over the building's PA system about an hour ago. A recorded message telling everyone to stay calm, stay indoors, and await further instructions. It played 3 times. It's probably playing in every building in the city. Empty buildings full of empty instructions. I've been thinking about Sarah. About how fast it happened. 1 second she was alive. The next she wasn't. Or maybe she is alive. Maybe she's one of them now. Maybe she's in some other building, some other room, clawing at some other door. I've been thinking about the woman on the subway. The homeless man making those wet sounds. The cart guy with the shaking hands. How long has this been spreading? How many people were already infected when I woke up this morning? How long until whatever they get, or whatever they have, gets in here? The building's getting quieter. That might mean everyone else is dead. Or it might mean they've all turned into those things. Or maybe they've escaped. Maybe they made it out of the city. Maybe I'm the only idiot who ran upstairs instead of down. I have a bottle of water from the conference room mini fridge. A packet of crackers I found in someone's desk drawer. That's it. That's all I have. Water, crackers, and a locked door with a dead man on the other side of it. I should have stayed home sick. I think about that a lot now. About how different everything would have been if I just stayed home. If I'd called in sick. If I'd made that one different choice. But I didn't. I came to work. I tried to be responsible. I tried to do the right thing. And now I'm right here. The lights just flickered. Jenkins stopped clawing for a moment, his head tilting like he heard something. Then he started again. Scrape, scrape, scrape. I don't know what happens next. I don't know if someone's coming to help. I don't know if there's anyone left to come. I don't know if I'll make it through the night, through the next hour, through the next minute. All I know is I should have stayed home. And that lights just flickered again. And that Jenkins isn't alone at the door anymore. There are more of them. I can hear them in the hallway, shuffling, groaning, clawing. How many? 5? 10? More? The filing cabinet is moving. Just slightly. Just an inch. But it's moving. I'm backing into the corner now. There's nowhere else to go. The window doesn't open. Even if it did. I'm 3 floors up. Maybe high enough to die. Probably not high enough to die quickly. The fluorescent lights are still buzzing. Still flickering. I can hear my heartbeat over everything else. Fast. Too fast. Panicked. I should have just stayed home. I should have stayed home. I should have. The door just splintered. They're coming in. Well, I've been sick for the last couple days, so including now, it was a lot to to read without coughing all over the place. But I wanted to make sure I at least got in one more video before the end of the year. I appreciate all you guys for sticking around this year. I know I haven't made as many videos as maybe previous years, but I look forward to 2026 and making more of these fun horror story videos for you guys. Come back next time for some more scary stories.